Joker.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Welcome back to another episode of
Another one.
Software Explorations. We are going to get to work today. We're going to get back to Terraform. A lot of things to discuss today, but you know how we do. We have to get into our agenda first and foremost. If you are new to the channel, if you don't know who I am your host of this Software Explorations, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. We like winning. We like engineering. We put the two together and we just go from there and we just run towards the finish line. But there's a secret. There is a secret. What is that secret? There is no finish line. There might be a goal set for today, a finish line for today, but we have an endless road to run on so we can continue it. If you're not moving forward, you are moving backward. There is no standing still. The world is continuously revolving, right? The world is spinning on its axis, right? And if you stop, you are moving backwards, right? And we do not believe in moving backwards. We want to keep going forward, shooting for the sky, right? Shooting for the stars. We are shooting for the stars, all right? So what are we going to do? We are going to get into our agenda for today. We probably go to like 5 o'clock Eastern time. It's already 3. Sorry, a little bit late. Sorry about that. But, we got to do what we got to do, all right? So let's start off with our agenda for today, okay? Let me pull it up. All right. So very, very, very first and foremost, I have an announcement to make. We have just been monetized. Yeah. So, with that being said, I want to thank all of the subscribers, all of the newest subscribers, everyone. I have some people that I've gotten really close with and that we are working together and stuff like that. Starting this YouTube channel is the best decision that I made in 2023. So you guys know how I feel about you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you all, right? And we are getting some massive growth. I see that you guys love the IAM, Identity and Access Management video that is getting so many views and so much feedback. And, I am happy that I can provide that type of content to you. So I try to put something out there for everyone. Sometimes like the bug bite, some people feel certain ways about the episodes that we have. It is what it is. But I am happy to do this work and to bring this type of content to you. The only thing I wish is on one hand, I wish I had gotten started sooner, but on the other hand, I might have not known the right way to do it. And maybe this is just perfect timing of when I started it. So here we are, right? I don't regret anything. I don't ever regret anything. It is what it is. You learn from your past. You learn from the past so you don't make the same mistakes in the future, right? So that is where we're at, okay? Now, with that being said, like I said, thank you to all the new subscribers. And of course, a big always salute and shout out to the tech barbarians who are always putting in that work. I have meetings with different tech barbarians on a weekly basis where we are tracking our progress, where we are working towards our goals, where we're working on building applications, right? Part of the coaching plan, depending on what level that you're at, is getting you some real world experience so that you can go out there and crush it, for whether you're working for yourself in tech or whether you are working for a company in tech, whatever the case may be, right? I want to help you get prepared so you can go out there and kill it, all right? Because I believe that the way that I build you up makes you a representation of me and my coaching skills and all that. So I want you to be prepared in everything that you do. And that's why I take you down the journeys that I take you, the paths that I take you. That's why I challenge you. I push you to your limit. And once you get to that limit, I say, okay, now that you can do that, I know you can do more, right? And that's why, that's how I work. And I see you as a representation of me when you go out there and you work. And that's why I really, really appreciate all the hard work and the effort that you put in as a tech barbarian and any member, any level of the Patreon, and especially if I interact with you one-on-one, you are a representation of me, and I want you to have the right skills, the right work ethic, the right drive, so that when people see you, they're like, okay, this is someone that I want to work with. They have integrity, and I can trust them, and they have the right work ethic to get the job done. When they say it's going to get done, I know it's going to get done, and I don't have to worry about them, right? So that is my goal for when I'm coaching, and I hope that is your goal as well when I'm coaching you. All right. I hope that you see me, the work that I do, how I push, as like me representing you in a good light as well, to say that, yeah, this is my coach, and he's working hard, and I'm proud that he's my coach. All right. So that's why I love working with my tech barbarians. I love working with my Patreon members. So, it is what it is. And if you have not checked out the Patreon yet, definitely check it out at www.techcoachralph.dev. The link is pinned to the top of the chat as well as in the description, and it will be being posted in the chat throughout the show. If you need one-on-one coaching, especially in QA, but it's not limited to QA. I can pretty much coach all of tech because the paths are very similar, although we end up at different career destinations and stuff like that. But the path is very similar, so I would highly recommend you go to the Patreon, check out the coaching plans. You can even get a one-on-one consultation with me before you sign up, and we can see like if we would be a good fit, right? Because I like to have that consultation first, because I want to know if I want to see who you are, what's your work ethic, what's your drive, and I can see that within really 5 minutes, right? But we talk for 30 minutes and we see what we can do, and then if it's a good fit, you sign up, and then we get to work. We get to work right away, right? And I love when I see that the members, they're doing what they're supposed to do, right? And we work, we jump on a call, we talk about what we have to talk about, and then I send you out into the world to do what you have to do, and then you come back, report, and we plan, and it's just a cycle over and over and over again, right? So that's a little insight into how the coaching works, and find out for yourself, right? So if you want to level up, if you want to grow, get that one-on-one coaching, and honestly, it doesn't even have to be with me. I would just say find someone who will help you and mentor you and push you, all right? And because I want you to win, and I'm doing my part, with all these videos and stuff like that to help you win, and I want you to win for yourself, all right? Okay, so next up, right? If you are new, or maybe you're not new, but you've been watching and you just haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know when we go live, when we drop new videos. We drop a lot of videos, right? But it's something for everyone, and I just want you to have the information that I've accumulated over the past 20 years, right? I want you to have access to it whenever you need, so that when you search something, my name comes up and that I can help you. And then if you're not sure, you can leave me a comment. I'll respond to you in the comment, or I will make a video to further explain that, right? I'm here for you. So that's why we release so many videos. You really don't have to watch every single one of them, although I would love if you did, but find what you need. And if you don't understand something, let me know and we'll get to it. All right. Also, like the video, share the video, share with everyone, just post it on all your social medias, get the word out there. We are growing, and I just love helping you guys, right? It's not easy, but it is very, very beneficial, and I love it. All right. And like I just said earlier, check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev. See everything that we have in there. I am planning to do a private Patreon live stream where I am updating my resume with my latest position, so you can see how I put that in there, the tools that I use to make it sound good. So definitely check that out. www.techcoachralph.dev. As well, you can sign up for one-on-one coaching with yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph. All right. So the next thing that is on our agenda, we have Cybersecurity Week coming up this week. Right, we're starting tomorrow. Starting today, but we're starting tomorrow, and I will be posting clips from the last Q&A show that we had in December with my good friend Socks. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel, Free Range Socks, and we'll be going live officially at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. But I like to get started a little bit earlier to get people in, have a little chat, and then we join Socks on his stream, on his channel, and we go from there. All right, so that is going to be Tuesday. I'll talk a little bit more about it as we get into our show schedule. So that is Cybersecurity Week. All right. So let's get into our live show schedule. So our live shows, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning. Our morning show, Coffee and Kata, it is at 7:15 a.m. Eastern Time, where we do, so this is what we do, right? We start off with review some news stories, and then we jump into our coding challenge to wake up our minds. The main purpose, right, that I have this show is to definitely, number one, wake up my mind, right? Because I'm like, all right, I need to wake up. I need to get into work mode. So when I actually get into work, I can crush it. I can do really cool things. My mind is awake and my mind is kicking on all cylinders. All right. So, and I want you to do the same. So whether you are on a drive to work, like my good friend Tech Takeover is always driving to work while listening in, or whether you are, maybe you work from home, right? And maybe you work from home and, you need to get started, like you're about to start, like you start work, wake up and do a coding challenge with me, right? You can use what we're currently doing now, the Open AI automation testing challenge that we're doing from Chaos Camp, or you can jump on Code Wars like we've been doing the past 2 Fridays and do a little challenge just to get those juices flowing, and then you hit work with the ground running. All right. So that is in the mornings, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:15 a.m. And then we have Sunday afternoons. Today, right? Today is Sunday, January 14th, 2024, right? We do software explorations where we are doing Terraform. So today in Terraform, we're going to be, as the thumbnail said, we're going to be implementing CodePipeline as well as ACM, the certificate management, right? I think it's Amazon Certificate Management, I believe it stands for. Well, we'll find a little bit more out into that. And I have some announcements to make about that as well, but we'll get that as we get into the show. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions, and this Tuesday, we have a special Q&A night. It is our cybersecurity Q&A night with Socks and I live at 8 p.m. It is already scheduled on my channel, and Socks, if he hasn't done it already, he will be scheduling it very, very soon, all right? So definitely tune in for that. Get all your cybersecurity questions answered by my good friend Socks, as well as he is going to be debuting Socks University, where he is putting, it's like a pre-boot camp, or it's like little modules and courses that will help you. It's going to help you to understand what you're getting into, because so many people, they come in and they're like, I want to get into cybersecurity. What the hell is cybersecurity, right? Every single day that we see that. So we were like, all right, let's build something that, what is cybersecurity? Boom. Go check out this module at Socks U, and get ready for what you're getting ready. Get ready for what you're about to get into, right? Super, super important. So many people and it's not even related, not limited to cybersecurity. In everything that they do, right? They don't look into what they're getting into. They don't plan ahead. They have no plans. They have no goals, and they just go into something, spend a bunch of money, and then they find out that, oh, this isn't what I thought, and now I'm in debt, and I have no idea what to do. I would say it is a good majority of the people who end up in that same situation. All right. So let's do proper planning. Let's do a low cost, low risk investment in ourselves, right? To see, because a lot of times people say, oh, I'm investing in myself, but they like, you're not investing if you are not properly planning and preparing. All right. So we're going to look around Socks University, answer questions from the chat, let you know what's going on, how to use it, and how you can get the most out of it. So once you get into your cybersecurity program, for whichever route in cybersecurity that you're going in, like there's at least 30 different routes in cybersecurity that you can go in, right? So come in, understand what you're getting into, ask questions, use the platform that Socks has put together to help you level up in whatever skills that you're trying to get into, especially in cybersecurity, all right? So that's going to be Tuesday at 8 p.m. And then lastly, we have our Thursday night shows where we're doing more software explorations. So what we're currently doing in software explorations. So overall, we are automating a application using Selenium with TypeScript, Playwright with TypeScript, and Cypress with TypeScript, right? On the same application, right? So to be more specific, we're setting up automation with those 3 tools on my good friend Jared's website, his application. Jared is from Calculus Coder, right? He created an app called Free Mind Recovery, which I would highly recommend that you all go sign up for. Check it out. You know, it's a very cool site. We reviewed it. We read through it on last Thursday. So I think it could be very helpful to you if you find yourself in the similar situations that he described on the site, on the application, free mind recovery. But we are setting up a front end automation testing on it, right? So we got to the registration page this past Thursday. So we're going to continue this Thursday with that by, you know, being able to register an account, and then we're going to log into that account. We're going to do it in Selenium. We're going to do it in Playwright. We're going to do it in Cypress. And we had a little bit of hiccup in Cypress last time, so I'm going to be investigating what caused that so we can get that automated as well using Cypress. All right. So that is the plan. And that is our live show schedule with details about what we're going to be doing this week. I want to start adding what we're going to be doing this week so that you can know what you're tuning into, so you can be prepared to know, like, all right, I have to make this, or I can catch it on a replay, or nah, I'm not too interested in that. All right. So just letting you know. So once again, real quick, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have the morning show, Coffee and Kata. Sunday afternoons, we are doing software explorations. We are going through Terraform. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions. We're going to be going live with SOCs to do cybersecurity Q&A, as well as explore SOCs University. And Thursday nights, we have software explorations, where we are in the process of setting up automation on the application for free mind recovery from Jared at Calculus Coder. Okay, so that is our live show schedule. All right, next up, we have our pre-recorded content. Mondays, we have candid conversations. This topic tomorrow is going to be your life is your business, why you should set up your life. You should treat your life as the business that it is. All right, so that's going to be our candid conversations for tomorrow. Wednesdays, we have software explorations, concept and overviews. We're going to have part 3 of our Cypress versus Selenium versus Playwright. And then Fridays, we have the bug bite, where we are going to be reviewing, did Tesla lie about their capabilities, right? Did Tesla lie about their capabilities for range and autopilot? That's what we're going to be checking out on the bug bite. And then throughout the week, we have additional content where we release clips from our Q&A show. We are going to be releasing clips from our last cybersecurity week. So check out that. So many good stuff. And, sometimes we release shorts. I'm trying to muster up the effort to release some more shorts. It's just hard, all right? But, we'll see what it is, all right? So that is our live show, as well as our pre-recorded content. All right. So next up, I want you to do me a big favor, right? Go ahead and go to the Chaos Camp GitHub repo. The link is in the description, as well as it will be in the chat throughout the show. Go ahead and check it out. I want you to pick a challenge from there and do it, right? Especially if you are in QA. Go ahead and do some Chaos Camp challenge, so you can, it gives you real world testing examples, so that when you're getting on the job, you're not only your only exposure is not to these little petty challenges that you did through a course or through a boot camp where it's nothing significant. It is hard. Chaos Camp challenges are hard, but hard is good. The things that push you is what is going to make you better. So I'd highly recommend that you go and try out a Chaos Camp challenge. All right. So, and like I said, the link is in the description of the video, as well as it will be circulating throughout through the chat throughout the show. Okay, as well as check out Socks's channel at Free Range Stocks. It'll also be in the chat throughout the show as well, and it should be in the description. If not, I'll add it at the end of the show. All right. So definitely check out all of that. It's so much to learn from, but you got to do it. All right.
Let's get it.
All right. So let me get some water real quick. The next thing up, I want to have a little discussion with you. 2 things to discuss, right? The first thing that we're going to discuss, I'll let you know both of them right now, right? Being effective at your job, number 1, and number 2, some useful Chrome extensions that I've been looking at, all right? 1 second. All right, the iPad was about to die and cannot have that happening. All right, so I will monitor that throughout the show. I might have to plug it in somewhere else if necessary, but it is what it is. All right. So with that being said, we're going to discuss, being effective at your job. So let's get into that. So a lot of people, from what I see, right, they ask, for instance, what certifications should I get to do this position or that position, right? Or and they go to a boot camp, they take some type of they take a boot camp or they take a course, and now they're like, okay, I have the knowledge and I'm ready to go, right? And they start applying, and they can't really find anything. And then maybe one day they finally land something, right? But here's the thing, right? Knowing how to do your job is just the baseline. It's the expectation. There's not you don't get any cool points, you don't get any brownies, you don't get anything for knowing how to do your job. What you get is a potential paycheck. If you get the job, you get a paycheck. You might get some benefits. You get some PTO and stuff like that. And depending, and especially if you're new, you get an entry level salary, right? But that is the baseline, and especially while we are talking about, today's topic is Terraform. So we'll use Terraform stuff as an example. All right. Give me one quick second. All right, we're good. Okay, so we'll use Terraform as an example, right? So let's say you are I don't know if Terraform engineer is a position, but let's say you are a DevOps engineer, and let's go with DevOps engineer / cloud engineer, right? We'll use that as our example. So what if so you go ahead and you learn how to do that, right? Great. You took a boot camp, or you took a Udemy course, a Coursera course, wherever you get your education from. Great. So now you know how to log into AWS or Google Cloud Platform or Azure or whatever other service. You log into that, and you can configure an EC2 instance. You can use Terraform to set up like we did last week. You can set up Elastic Beanstalk. You can set up the Route 53. You can set up the code pipeline. You can set up ACM, right? Great, perfect, right? So you're AWS certified. You know how to do this stuff, whether it's manually, whether it's through Terraform, whatever the case may be, right? Great. That is what you studied. You know how to do it. Proud of you, right? However, here is when you start to add value to the company, because when you can do what I just mentioned, you're doing what they hired you to do, right? And that's, you meet expectations for the most part, right? But, and here's the thing, they could have hired anybody else who had those same criteria to do it, but they went with you because whatever reason they went with you, right? But here's the thing, if you want to add value to your company, right, in your role, you need to look for the ways you can add benefits to the company and efficiency, right? If you show up with, I'm just here to get a paycheck, you're not it, right? If it's like, I did what I had to do, I did my job, and then I go home, and then whatever, you're not it, right? And then when all the layoffs start happening and stuff like that, you put yourself on the list for, they were able to do the job, but we can get away without having them, right? Because you're just doing what you're supposed to do. And when it comes to getting a reduction in like maybe 20%, 5%, 10%, whatever the number is, you become a candidate, right? It might be you, right? So, but however, when you are looking for benefits and efficiency, right, then they see, okay, this person, they care, they're adding value. You need to treat the way, you need to treat the money as it's your own money, right? You can't see it as, oh, well, that's just their money. No. When you start to see it as like the money that's being spent as your own money, right? If you wouldn't make that decision with your own money, then you shouldn't make it with the company's money, right? Looking for efficiency, looking for ways to save money, right? So with our cloud engineering example, right? And I'll use this example from what we're working on. So we set up the Elastic Beanstalk, right? with like last week, right? And I'm monitoring the cost, right, for with AWS, and I don't like it, right? Because I'm like, this seems a bit a lot, right? For especially for like barely an application does anything, right? And we can take a quick look at it, right? Let's see. Let's go to okay. So we're looking at in August I spent $12.53. Majority of it was on EC2, right? Got rid of the EC2s, and then September $4.55. October $6.16. November 626, December 718, right? But already in January, right, we are at where does it say? We're already at 1259, right? And a big part of it is coming from the load balancing, right? And I'm like, what we have deployed so far is just a one-page app that's not even getting any traffic, and we're looking at $20-something a month, right? It's forecasted to be $22 a month, so double what we spent last month, and we're barely doing anything. So the reason that I bring that up is when you are in your role, and this is the good thing about actually developing something that you can have, like when you get to an interview, that you can have talking points about what's going on, right? So when you build something and you deploy it and it's out there and your own money is being spent, and you can see, okay, this is like, for what I'm paying and what I'm putting out there, right? It seems inefficient, right? And now you start to say, is there a better way that I can do this? Is there a different service I can use with AWS? Is there another tool or application that I can use and something like that, right? And that's what I mean by using like, you have to see the company's money as your own, right? So if you wouldn't do it for yourself, then should you be doing it for the company? And maybe the company might be what they want to go with, but it's something that you can bring up and you can ask and you can question and go from there. So you have to make the right suggestions. You don't just sit quiet, right? It's very, very important that you look for cost reduction opportunities, right? Look for cost reduction opportunities to say, okay, is this the best use of our money? Don't say of their money, right? Because when a lot of times when people see it as someone else's money, they don't care as much, right? But is this the best use of our money? Because guess what? When it's our money, because they're paying you, right, to do a job, so you're spending their money, which is also your money, and because like if cuts have to be made and you're gone, then now you have no money, right? So looking for cost reductions, looking for efficiencies, very, very important. Making the right suggestions. So, for instance, if we set up the elastic load balance and we see that for what we're spending and what we're putting out there, it doesn't correspond with one another, then you can say, okay, there are these other AWS tools that you can use, or there are these other services. It just depends on like what the company is ingrained with, and that is part of the reason that and that's where you add value, so much value, and that's how you become so effective at your job, right? You don't just do it; you do it the right way. You do it the best way, right? I put a quote in the community tab the other day where it's from Uncle Bob, and he says that the job's not done when it's working; it's done when it's right. You know what I mean? So you got to think about that. We have to have that mindset in play. Okay. Okay. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know in the chat, in the comments, wherever you see it, right? Let me know what you think. But that is the mindset, the right mindset that you need to have so you can be very, very effective in your job at your company, because treat that company's business as if it's your own business as well. Okay? So just wanted to throw that out there. Hopefully that is helpful. Hopefully you found that useful. All right? So let me know what you think, okay? All right. The next thing that we are going to get into is some really, really cool Chrome extensions that I came across, and we are going to install some of them together to see how they work, how useful that they are. Okay. So, being that today we're talking about Terraform, I just happened to search Terraform in the Chrome extensions website, chromewebstore.google.com. And I will put these links in the description at the end of the show as well, so that you can check them out. But you can also just go to webstore, chromewebstore.google.com, and you can type them in the search and you will see them. All right. So let's go to. So the first one that I stumbled across is GitHub Terraform sources to URLs, right? And being that we're talking about Terraform, I thought that was pretty cool. So let's read it real quick. It says, convert Terraform modules sources on GitHub to clickable links that take you to the module definition page. This extension will scan Terraform files on github.com and replace the module source with a clickable link. For example, if your module has a source clouddrove/label/AWS, it will convert it to registry.terraform.io, modules clouddrove, labels AWS latest. This is available on the page, or you can click the sleepy cat icon to get a table view of all modules found on the page. If there are no modules found, then it will display no modules found. This is useful for looking at Terraform code and being able to see what a module does in seconds. The extension currently supports sources of type SSH, URI, registry, private registry, and file path. This extension is open source under the GPL 3.0 license. If you want to see the code, head over to this part. All right, cool. So let's install it, right? Because we're working on Terraform. So let's install it, see what happens. Let's see if we go to this URL real quick, if we'll be able to see a working example of it. Not sure. I would like to see an example, but we shall see. Let's see. I don't think so. Let's see if we can find Terraform module. So this is on the, let's see if we go to GitHub. Would love to see a Terraform module in GitHub. So let's say we go here and we go to here and we go to maybe here. Let's see what we get. Oh, we go to examples maybe. Let's see if we go here. See if I can enable the module. I don't see it here. There it goes, Terraform module. No modules found on this page. That sucks. I would like to see it in action, but maybe we won't be able to find that. Main maybe. No module. Well, if we end up to stumble across a module, we'll try it out. But that would be super cool to see that in action. Let's see. No modules found. All right. Well, once we can find a module, we will definitely check it out because that would be super cool. All right. So that is the Terraform module. We'll keep looking for that. The next one that I just recently installed, I think this is helpful for everyone, right? Especially like as QA, or if you work with a lot of data and stuff like that, and you need to like copy a column, copy a row. So this is called copy tables, right? Very, very cool if you just search for copy tables in the extension. So I'm going to add this to Chrome, and I will show you how it works if I can find a table, that is. All right, so copy tables is added. Let's go ahead and pin that for now so we can get to it. And let's do a quick search for, let me see, data table maybe. And let's see. Let's say data table example maybe. Let's see. Examples index. Let's see what this consists of. Let's go with. Oh, come on, just need a table. Let's see. With this. Not getting a good. Let's see what this one. Maybe this one. Let's do web table example. Let's try that. All right, there we go. Let's see HTML tables, right? So here's a table, right? We have company, contact, country. And if we wanted to copy, this is how it's going to copy, right? Not good. Like this does nothing for us, okay? However, if we go ahead and we enable, we say data table or copy tables, and we say we want to capture the column, right? And when we capture the column, how do you want to copy it, right? You can copy it as a CSV, you can copy it as is, text, you can choose how you want to copy it, right? So let's go with that for now, right? So let's just go. So here, now the whole thing is copied, right? And I can copy, and let's say we do sheet.google. Let me. Oh, it's going to show up there. Sheet.google.com. Maybe it's sheets.google.com. Okay, so let's say we have this sheet, right? And I copied here, right? So I did Control C to copy, and I go here and I paste. Boom! Look at that, copy. All right. Or let's say we do the row. Let's say we do the row, copy. Boom! Right. Or let's say we do, what else do we have? Tables. So boom, copy. And delete that. Boom. The whole thing is copied, right? So easy to copy data. So let's do the last one. Let's do cells, right? So let's say we just want these three, right? Copy. Let's say we go, boom, those three cells. Perfect, right? This is so helpful because sometimes you need to download a whole CSV file of this, and it's it makes a mess when you can all I need is let's say all I need is this, right? So I go here, and let's say we do it as let's copy these two, right? Let's say we do this as a CSV, right? So let's say we want hold on. Get rid of that. So let's say we want these two as a CSV, right? So I click copy. Well, actually, I need to, let's say CSV, copy, and then we go to, let's get a terminal window up. And we go to vim, copy, table, test.csv. And now we do and we paste. Oh, nope, that's not right. So let's, oh, because I did copy, right? So let's do, let's see. Let's do copy table test.csv again. And if we do and so let's do this again, right? So we have we have copy as CSV selected, right? Let's see. I think we do. Not maybe that part doesn't work. I don't know. Copy as CSV, and let's say we go like that. Let's see what happens if we try to paste it into our thing again, right? Oops. So that's interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe we're getting that part wrong, right? But the cool thing is, even if that doesn't work, right, you can do, because you can always do like in here, and when you paste it in here, you can do file and export. There's an export here. Download and then download as a CSV, right? So you can still export as a CSV, and you only get like, you don't have to like take a whole big data and manipulate it and stuff like that. You can just select the things that you need to select, right? And then just go and do whatever it is that you want with it, right? So very, very useful tool. Right, so definitely I recommend that. I installed it on Friday because I had some CSV work to do and to run some scripts, and it was amazing. Okay. Next up, we have I haven't tried this yet, so I'm going to try this with you. We have environment marker. Okay, so what that does is it lets you know which environment that you're working on. So, which I think that is so helpful because you can get really, really confused when you're juggling a bunch of environments, right? So there can be a dev environment, there's a QA environment, there's a staging environment, and then you can have a production environment, depending on your setup, right? So let's try this real quick. And we have it set up. Let's go ahead and enable it. So let's see. Let's do so let's go to let's try this one, right? So let's try the Poopy Pants application, and let's do environment marker, and we're going to say name production, and let's go with let's go right and add, and boom, look at that, production. Now let's go to time cost, right? And we're gonna do another one, and we're gonna call that stage. All right, and add that, boom, stage. This is so cool, right? So now if we go to, and let me see, is there any other application? Let's go to any random website, right? So let's say Amazon, and let's say we do this one for QA. Boom. So now let's say we go to, let's close this, close that, close that. So now you're testing, right? And the domain names are very, very similar. And it's like just in the URL, it might be like stage.yourwebsite.com, like www.yourwebsite.com or qa.yourwebsite.com or dev.yourwebsite.com, right? So when you go to, so let's say we go to Amazon, we have a QA, right? Now we go, and a lot of times you have them in like multiple, like you have them in the same tabs, right? So let's say we do time cost, and now it lets you know you're in stage, right? And then you go to Poopy Pants, and now it lets you know you're in prod. So this is super, like, to me, this is probably the most useful one that I found, that you can easily identify what environment that you're in, and this is going to be a gold mine. All right. So definitely want you to check that out as well. I will put the link into that one in the description as well. And that is it for today, right? There's some more that I have that we will review maybe next weekend, but I definitely think that these three tools or at least these two, the Terraform one, I'm not like, if you're into Terraform, but I definitely think like these three as well, like these two, the last two at least, the copy tables and the environment marker, it is going to be one of them. Like, it's going to help you so much to get to be more efficient, like we were talking about, be more effective, and bring more usefulness and benefits to your role. It's all about getting the right tools. All right. So just wanted to share that with you as well. Okay. All right. We are getting ready to jump into the main topic of the show, into the meat of the show. Okay. So shout out to all of that, to these cool modules, to adding more value to your position. All right. So, what are we going to do today? We are going to work on Terraform to configure. We're going to be configuring the code pipeline. So last week we did Elastic Beanstalk, and we did the Route 53, right? And then today we're going to work on code pipeline and Amazon Certificate Manager. But keep in mind, right? Based on the cost that we saw the other day, I am looking into migrating the application to a different provider because right now it's not big enough to warrant the cost that would be incurred on a monthly basis. So I am looking into some alternatives, and I would like to see if those alternatives we can use Terraform on it as well. Because if we can, then we can start branching out of AWS only setup and into some other providers that we can also leverage our Terraform skills to be able to set up our environments there, right? And before let's start off with putting the timer up, right? And let's get into it. And let's get into it because this is a good part of the conversation, okay?
It's time to do.
And before we do anything else, we need some energy.
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
All right. All right. So, with that being said, all right, let me close. Actually, no, I can't close them because I need to. I was about to close the plugins, the extensions for Chrome, but I can't because I need to send those to you. So let me not do that, and I'll send those to you after. But like I was saying with the cost, right? I am exploring some other providers that will, because the thing that costs the most is the load balancing, right? The application load balancing on AWS. And like I said, there's just not that much traffic to warrant the cost that we're paying, even if it's $20 a month, right? $20 is money. And if you can get it, keep your costs low, especially in the starting stages making the right decision. There's actually a really cool audiobook it's called A Tale of Two Companies that it is amazing. That story. We'll probably talk about it some more in the future. I have to find it again, right? But what I'm going to be exploring, maybe next weekend, is which provider we can go with to set up to migrate the Poopy Pants application to, right? And the good thing about it is that we do not like to be tightly coupled to any particular provider or any particular any particular API. So we want to be flexible, right? So being that we're using Terraform, I would like to be able to use Terraform to set up the configuration so we can deploy it elsewhere, right? And we'll look at the documentation to do that. The two that I have in mind is render.io or render.com and vercel.com. So I found render.com by browsing, but our good friend Don at Chaos Camp told me about vercel.com. So if Don told me about it, that's the one I'm going to look into first. That's the one I'm going to be leaning towards. But we are, and from what I see, right, I do see that there is a Terraform provider for Vercel. So I'll be looking into that and see what we can do, right? So that is what's going to be probably next week because because I do want to finish the whole integration of like what we did manually with inside of the AWS console to see if we can get it to work with the code pipeline, and that would be super super cool. Or to get it like with Terraform, right? To get the code pipeline and the ACM through that, because that'd be super cool, and we'll have that saved. So in case we ever need to do it, as well as building up the skills so that we can offer this to other people, because we have the structure, we have the infrastructure. We just say, okay, deploy it to this AWS, deploy it to this one, and this is the setup. It's going to do all the setup, right? And then and we're good to go, right? So, and then we can also get familiar with Vercel or Render, or maybe we'll start diving into Microsoft Azure, whatever the case may be, right? It's all about building experience, right? And you know, and I'll talk about this in our first break about adding value, which we were talking about in the discussion that we just had, but more ways to add value, and we'll get into that a little bit further, right? But first, but I mean not first, but now let's actually get into our work, right? So I have WebStorm on one screen, and I have AWS CodePipeline, Terraform code on the other screen. Okay, so let's see here. So let's do a quick recap. All right, so let me open the Terraform code. All right, so let's get to our Terraform, all right? So inside of our Terraform code, I tried to push the code up, right? And to my GitHub, right? And I found out that there was a file that is inside of here, this Terraform provider AWS, over 100 megs. It was trying to get pushed up to AWS. So, and or not to AWS, to GitHub, which GitHub rejected it validly because the file was too big. I didn't know it was in there. So I added that. I added to ignore the path that goes to Terraform providers registry, the Terraform.io, HashiCorp, to ignore everything that is in this folder, because that like it's I don't believe it's needed to be up there, right? When you download the plan and you go to apply it, then it's going to pull in all the necessary things that it needs, all right? So I'm just giving you some context. And what we did, so this is our Terraform plan. What we did was we set up Elastic Beanstalk resource, the Elastic Beanstalk environment. We did the URL. So output the URL for the Elastic Beanstalk environment, and we said, all right, this is Route 53. This is what we did last Sunday. We did Route 53, moviepaths.techcoachroute.dev, and then the public URL, routing it to the zone ID, and everything like that. So once that would be done, we'd have to come back and update our DNS and stuff like that. All good, right? No problem. So now we want to get into the setting up the code pipeline, right? So let's look at the code for that, the resource for that, right? So the resource for AWS Code Pipeline is listed here, right? Resources, AWS Code Pipeline, and then the name that you would give it is Code Pipeline, and or the variable name that you would give it would be code pipeline, but you can name it whatever you want. And then the name that would show up inside of AWS would be tf-test.pipeline. We're going to name that our moviepaths pipeline, right? You'd have to give it a role possibly, according to this documentation, and artifact store. we would want that to be coming from GitHub. So this is right. So this code right here is giving you, okay, so here, let me see. Let's see. So what we're going to do, we are going to pull up our code pipeline to see, because I don't remember exactly what we did, but let's take a look at it. So we have our code pipeline from the other day. And we had our source and our deploy. So let's say we go here. Let's say we create a pipeline, right? Pipeline name, the version. We can use an existing resource. All right, so we can use that one. And we could also, we'll use this for now, but we could also create one with the, if I don't think we have IAM inside of this yet. But once we get there, because it is part of the course, once we get there, we'll do that as well, right? We can create the Terraform user and stuff like that in there. But for now, we'll just use this one right here. All right, and let's see. So let's see if we can take a look at the existing one. And let's see, we have that. We can clone the pipeline, but we don't want to do that. Let's say edit. So edit pipeline properties, v2, edit variables, there's no variables, edit source. So the source is GitHub, right? Our source is GitHub. You can add an action to it and then deploy it to Elastic Beanstalk. So let's look at this one. So let's see. Resource, AWS Code Pipeline, stage, source. So let's take a look at, let's do this. Let's copy this right over here. And let's go like this, right? And let's close this out. That way we can look at both of these side by side. Let me see. Let's look at this. Can I close this thing up here? Okay. Can't close that. All right, I wish I could close that so I can look at it a little better, but it's fine. We'll make do with what we have, all right? So, so let's say source, stage, source. All right, and then owner, AWS, provider, code star, source connection. Maybe we put GitHub in that one. Stage, build, deploy. All right. So this one is with GitHub, provider type GitHub. Do they have a provider type up here? They don't have a provider type up here, right? So this one is probably if the code is stored in S3, I'm guessing, right? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so this is if the code is stored in S3 buckets, or no. So okay, GitHub. Let's see. Provider type GitHub. Resource AWS S3 code pipeline bucket. So if I remember correctly, for the code pipeline, it grabs the code from GitHub. Does it put it? I think it puts it in a GitHub bucket potentially, and then it deploys from the from the AWS S3 bucket, and then it deploys from the S3. I think that's what it is, right? We shall find out. Let's see. Let me see if I edit this. It's connected. Code pipeline default. Push it in a branch. So if we push to the main branch, then it will be pushed. It'll trigger a deploy. it would be cool to see that in action too. I do have a deploy that I need to do soon, but at some point I'll push some code to the main branch so we can see that happen. But anyways, let's see what we have going on here. So we have that. We have that. Let's see. Edit this stage. Let's edit this. And this is looking for source artifact defined by source. And the source is GitHub. All right, well, let's start. Let's try to do this, right? So I'm going to be on the other screen and I'll be referencing back to this screen to figure out what we're doing. All right, so let's go on this adventure together. All right, let's do it. We have our marching orders. Where can I find this real quick? Ooh, let's see. Okay, here. Is what it is. I was looking for something, but I can't seem to find it. What's this? Let's see what this is. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. So let's do that. All right, so let's get to work. Or let's try this. All right, that is our. Let's try this one real quick. Nah, that sucks. All right, we will go with that. Let's get to work, okay? Let's get to work. Okay, so we have. We're going to go to here. We're going to switch screens. We're going to go here and we're going to say resource. Oh, goodness. So I think we're here. And we say here resource. And we're going to say AWS code pipeline. And we're going to name that PPQ code pipeline. And the name we're going to give it is Poopy Pants Code Pipeline. And that's what's going to show up in the, let me see what. Okay, cool. Because we currently have it as Poopy Pants Pipeline. We're going to call it Poopy Pants Code Pipeline. All right. And role ARN. So I'm going to copy that over from the other one. Find it. Yeah, just create a new one. Let's see. Let's see if that works. So if we copy this, I think that should work. Look at the description that they have. So I'll copy that for now, but we can probably clean that up as well. Taking this out of here and into a data. Do we have a data file in here? Did we ever create a data file? What was that up? Let me see. We do not have a data file, believe it or not, in here. So we can always come back and refactor this to make it a little bit better. But yeah. All right, cool. We'll leave it as that for now, right? Yeah, we'll refactor. Make it work and then make it better, right? So we have that. Let's see, and then we have. Let's go here. Oops. Provider and then GitHub. I believe we need to have here. Okay. Let me see. Code. Or maybe actually this should be. I think this should actually be AWS Code Pipeline or Code Star Connections. Wait a second. Code Star Connections. So what I'm gonna do, like the documentation from these actual providers, it's so wishy-washy sometimes, right? So let's Google Terraform AWS Code Pipeline GitHub version 2, right? So let's see, add Code Pipeline GitHub version. Let me see, version 2. This should be done by now. Let's see. All right, let's take a look at this one real quick, right? AWS Code Pipeline. Hopefully, Medium doesn't make you pay for this one. So we have all that. All right, so code. Oh, of course, they want you.
Lunch break.
They want you to sign up. Let's see if I can find another article before we go to break. Code Pipeline source GitHub version 2. Let's see what we have in here. This is from. How long ago was this written? 7 months ago. Unfortunately, it is certainly not possible to use GitHub version. Oh, that's this one. It's not that. Let's see. Try to find one that is going to work for us. And then we can go to break. Let's see what this one has. I think it'd be like super easy to find this, right? Let's see. Here goes that provider AWS module. Let's see this module right here. Doesn't really help. Okay. Well, let's see if our little tool works here because I see a module in here, right? Oh, look at that. We have we have an example of the Terraform module, right? So if we were to click on this, that would open up a Terraform for Terraform. Oh, cool. This is pretty cool. Take you to the Terraform registry. So it does work. That's good to see. Thought some links were supposed to be highlighted. Oh, there we go. So this must be the highlight. Or not. I don't know. I'm kind of confused now. Kind of confused a little bit. But we do see it working here at least. So we get to see it. So let's say go here. It takes you to all right. Anyways, no, that one I'm not too sure about that module yet, right? But let's keep looking for our. Do one more quick look for this, and if we can't find it, we are going to go straight to break, and we'll keep looking afterwards. Module code pipeline. S3 deployment. GitHub owner. Local. I don't know. We'll keep looking once we get back from break. So we are on break. we'll continue and we'll see what we can get done. All right. But on break, let's go ahead and throw up 5 minutes on the clock. All right. So yeah, a little bit more about adding value to your company, right? So what I was saying before we started our first 20-minute work session is when you actually have to do something for yourself, right? Now you start to see why, like how companies operate, right? So with the theme of our candid conversation tomorrow about you being your own company, your own business, managing your life as the business that it is, you will see so the way that I started seeing the cost in AWS increase. I'm like, I don't really like this for like we're not getting any traffic yet. I haven't like even shared the link with anybody yet, right? But we have our MVP up, and it's like it's gonna be $20 for the month when I think it should be a lot less, right? So now we're like, all right, we're researching different tools. We're looking at render.com as I mentioned in Vercel. And I looked up to see if there was a Terraform provider for it, right? I see one for Vercel. I'm not 100% sure about for render yet. And so we can definitely try Vercel to implement that. And the pricing seems decent for now, but we'll look into it a little bit more. But I think that would be cool. Looking at the Vercel features it supports 35 frameworks. It's fast, automatic CI/CD, Git integration, functions, serverless and edge, and starter, database, KV, and Postgres. And then there's web analytics and community support, right? The database that we do plan on using is going to be Mongo. So not sure what KV is in particular. But we will maybe as long as it's like a no SQL database, then that would work. But that's part of like researching and stuff like that, right? But we can definitely try to implement that using Terraform, and that goes to the larger conversation of like what you would do for your company. You want to also apply that to your work environment and stuff like that, and that's one of the reasons I'm like, okay, build something and put it out there. And that's why I like what Jared from Calculus Coder is doing, because he has a application that is up and running. He has to maintain testing, security, all this stuff. So he sees and if something happens and the things aren't working, it falls back on him. It's his income, his money that's being affected, his credibility, his reputation. So he has to think in mind, okay, I need to implement unit tests. So if something breaks, I can catch it and it doesn't get deployed. I need to implement functionality testing, API testing, and all these type of things, right? Which me and him are talking about now as well, because coming into like recently into software engineering for him, some things you just don't know, especially about the testing aspect, because they do not teach it in college whatsoever. The most they might introduce you to is unit testing, but the testing strategies, QA and all that, they don't talk about it at all. So now we are having conversations about it, how to implement unit tests, how to do test-driven development, how to, and like now, like how I'm going to be using Cypress and Playwright and Selenium, using free mind recovery. And like when you see like the way that I'm doing it is exactly what what I do at work, right? So having that mindset, because when I'm working, I'm like, all right, I want to provide the most value to my thinking about it like this, right? I want to provide the most value to my client. If I am a business, that means the company that I work for is my client, right? And I want to, and my customer, I want to provide the most value to my client, to my customer. So what can I do? How can I plug in my teammates, right? They're my clients as well, because I want to provide assistance and value in whatever way I can, right? So if the sprint that I'm in is not a QA heavy sprint, are there other ways that I can plug in? That's what I'm always looking for, opportunities to learn more, right? Like I was telling you the other day, I got to get more familiar with with Redash and SQL queries and stuff like that, which is something that I wanted to do, but I got to contribute to it. I get to run. I run scripts. I volunteer. I'm like, okay, let me build this script, right? So that I can one, learn more. Two,
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
two, find other places that I can add value in, right? So I'm not just like sitting around twiddling my thumbs like, oh, there's nothing to test. No, I am part of the team. And in the agile principles of agile, right? Everyone is you want to have like anyone can do anything, right? So although I am primarily testing QA engineering, right? So I don't limit myself to just that, because I want to contribute. I want to always be able to add value. So I can be like I can be doing some SQL queries one day. I can be doing some Terraform things to enhance our capabilities, to put our infrastructure into code, or I can be running scripts. I can be writing scripts. I can be doing testing. And in the same way, in the same light, when it is a testing heavy sprint, right? And the engineers are done with like the development, and there might be like more than one thing that need to be tested. They as well say, okay, how can we help with testing so we can get our sprint done, right? It's not like, okay, we've done our part and now it's on you. No, everyone comes together. We rally around the things that we need to do, because we have a goal, which is always to tell you guys, right? Set a goal and work towards it. So because we have a shared goal and a shared common interest, we always work towards towards completion and the finish line, so that no man is left behind. Because if one man is left behind, everyone is left behind, because we do not accomplish our objective. We do not accomplish our mission. So we're always looking to bring each other, along, bring each other together, and everyone is adding value in whatever aspect of it that it's being done, right? So I can be writing automation tests. I can be doing some manual testing. I can be searching for data that we need for testing. I can be creating data that we need for automating testing in the future, right? Anything that you can plug into to add value. The number one goal is add value. I don't care about my title, right? QA engineer, senior, lead, QA architect, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? The only thing that matters at the end of the day is the results. And the results that I want to have is to see our customers happy, for them not to have any defects, to see our support team not being bombarded with issues and stuff like that. That is my goal, right? To add value. Simple as that. And whatever way I can add value, that's what I'm going to go for. My title, senior QA engineer, great, right? But I don't mind going outside of the role so that we can win, right? As DJ Khaled says, right?
You either win with us or you watch us win.
Very, very simple concept. You either win with us or you're going to watch us win. And that's why I want to win with the team. And they want to win too, right? And that's the mentality. That is the mentality that you need to employ when you want to move up and when you want to add value to your company, right? A lot of people say, I did this and then I went and I demanded a raise and stuff like that. I've never asked for a raise, demanded a raise, or anything like that, right? I just say, okay, I'm going to work and I'm going to focus, and this is the things I'm going to do. And then they're like, they give me the world, right? They give me the world, right? And when I find myself in a place that I don't like where things are going, and we have a conversation about it, and if things don't change, then I say, okay, I have a decision to make, right? But first and foremost, I just look, okay, how can we win? How can we make our customers happy? How can I make my clients, which is my team, which is the company that I work for, which is my manager, those are my clients, right? I am a business, right? And we're going to talk about that more tomorrow on Kind of Conversations. But I was like, this is get it started now, right? Looking to add value to your company and to whoever comes across in your life. You need to say, okay, this is my client and this is the value that I'm going to bring. And if everyone has that mindset, things are going to run so smoothly. A lot of times people have a very selfish mindset about, oh, what can I get out of you or out of this, right? And that's when we start to lose, all right? So just wanted to throw that out there. But look to add value to your company and to your clients, who is anyone you interact with, all right? So let's get back to this, all right? Let's go to All right, so let's see here. Here. What are we? Okay, so let me see. Let's look at this. And let me just do this. Let's do Terraform plan, right? Let's do a plan. Plans require configuration. No configuration files. What are you talking? Oh, okay. CD Terraform. Okay. That's Terraform plan. So we get out of that, right? So lock dependency. What are you talking about? Inconsistent dependency file. All right. So this what quarter reference is deprecated. So all right. So wait. Oh, so we had changes. Let me change this back. Let's see. Let's see. Let's do another Terraform plan. See what we get. Cause I just want to see. Not worried about this for now. So quoted reference is deprecated. Okay. I see what's going on here. All right. So let's take a look at this code again. Provider. Oh, provider type. The provider is deprecated in. So. All right, so let's leave this as this, right? Let's try to follow this a little bit closer. So let's do Terraform plan. And let's see. So let's see. All right, so we need at least 2 stage blocks are required. Okay. But in let me go check the S3. Let me see if I created an S3 bucket for code pipeline. Let's see. All right, so we did create a S3 code pipeline S3. All right, so we could do. All right, so we did an S3 bucket. Okay, so AWS S3 bucket. So if we go here, let's say we do, and we'll have to definitely clean up this Terraform file. We'll refactor it later on, but resource, and we're gonna call that S3 bucket, and we're going to say code pipeline S3 bucket, right? And then we're gonna go here, and so now we also need to do I'm pulling up the S3 Terraform code, not module code. All right, resource AWS S3, and let's call it bucket, and we're gonna call that PPQ code pipeline bucket. All right, and we could do tags equals and name equals capital. Name equals PPQ code pipeline bucket. All right, let's leave it as that, and let's give it. All right, so let's leave it as that. Okay, so we have our S3 and we're gonna go to, all right, so now in here, we're going to say artifact store location, AWS S3 bucket dot code pipeline dot bucket. All right, and we are going to say type S3. And I don't think I have an encryption key. We'll leave the encryption key out for now. All right. So let's go to stage. And then we're going to go here and we're going to say name equals source. And then action category source name source. Okay. I see what we're doing. All right. So owner AWS provider code star source connection and version. I think we want to have version 2 and output. I'll leave it as version 1 for now, I guess. But well, I don't know. I'm just following along real quick. And then source output. All right, and then so the problem with that is we need to create the resource for the code star connection first, it looks like. Let's see. AWS code star connection, AWS. So I'm looking at this over here to see. Okay, so okay, is there ARN over here? I don't see the ARN over here though. Okay, anyways, whatever. Oh, so this is where they create the policy. But the one that we're using should already have the policy on it anyways. So we had our, where did I put that? Have it in here. Okay, anyway, all right, let's keep going. So, which did it need it up there? I don't remember. We do have it up there. Okay. No biggie. So let's keep going. I didn't even start the timer. Let's start the timer.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, let's see. Where are we now? All right, so we have this. And I think I need to add this before. Okay, so let's go ahead and add the resource for the other. What? Oh, that's the output. Okay, cool. So let's do. We're going to do before we can. We need to do this part, right? Let's start our code star connection. Let me expand this a bit. So we are gonna go to resource, AWS code star connection, and we're gonna do ppq GitHub repo name ppq GitHub connection, and provider type is going to be GitHub. All right. The interesting thing is, how are we going to authenticate with GitHub? I'm curious to see that. All right, so we have that resource taken care of. We already did this as well. The resource for the S3 bucket. Let's see. We did it up here. Okay, so they have everything in here, honestly. So now we're going to come up here and we are going to do our configuration for our configuration, and we're going to say connection ARN equals AWS CodeStar connection dot PPQ dot ARN, right? That what you wanted? Okay. And then full repository ID. And that is going to be the it should be the URL to the GitHub repo. Let's see let's find that. We are going to this one. Let's copy that, and that's going to go in here for full repository ID. Let's see. And then branch name equals main. All right. So we got that. I would do let me do a Terraform plan real quick. It's still gonna give us an error because we only have one block, but I just want to see if there's anything. All right, so all right, let's add the second one, right? We're still getting the error, which we knew it would, but we do want to. All right, so this is for this one, this is for that one, and this is for stage. So we're gonna add another stage. And this is going to be for stage. All right, name for stage is going to be build. And the action is going to be category build. Name is going to be build. Owner is AWS. And provider is code build. Version 1. And we're going to have input artifacts, which is going to be source output. So I think we're going to have to create a source output maybe. Let me see. Was there an output over here? Output artifact, source output. Okay. Okay, gotcha. And then output artifact. So in the first stage, it's outputting the source output. And then in the build stage, it's outputting the build output. And then I'm guessing the deploy is going to be using the build output, right? Makes sense. So version 1. And then we're going to do configuration, project name. Project name, and we'll call that Poopy Pants. Oops. Let's see what is that. All right, cool. So we have that. Okay. So let's do a Terraform plan again. Let's see if that error goes away. So you didn't use the dash out to save this plan, so it's gonna generate all this. So we got that, but we also want to deploy this as well. we don't just want to create the environment, right? We also want to deploy it. So let's add the deploy stage to this as well. Because like if we don't add the deploy, then it's just going to go in there and we'll have to like manually go into Terraform, into AWS console and do the deploy ourselves, right? So while we're here, let's go ahead and take care of the deploy. We can close this down. All right. Where are we? Okay, so here, this is for here. We need one more stage, right? All right, cool. So let's add one more stage. Stage name, deploy, action, deploy, with the category, deploy for the owner, or for the name. Owner is AWS again, provider, cloud formation. See all these tools working together, and then for the version, we're going to keep that as 1, and we're going to do input artifacts. We're going to be using the build output because you need the build to so we're deploying the build, right? We're not so the build stage is taking in the source output in order to do the build, and then once the build is done, it is going to deploy it. You're going to need that build output as your input artifact, right? All right, and then we're going to do configuration with, not too familiar with all these things mean, but we are going to let's see. Okay, gotcha. All right, because we had to create that file the other day. All right, so let's say configuration, action, mode. I'm just typing in whatever I see, right? Replace on failure. And then capabilities equals auto expand and capability IAM, and then output file name equals .json and PPQ Express. I don't know, whatever. Let's call that. Yeah, whatever. No, it doesn't matter. And then template path, which would be build output. And there should be a file in here, which is where's there a YAML file in here? I don't know if we had a YAML file in here. I don't know which YAML file they're talking about in the configuration. I'm not sure what they're talking about here. Anyway, let's just leave that as is, right? Leave it out. Okay, let's go with that. So now let's make sure we have all of our resources. We have this. So let's go ahead and so it looks like we need, in order to configure S3, we are going to need this, which I can move this down to the bottom. We are going to need, it looks like we're going to need to resource, AWS S3 bucket access block, and we'll call that code pipeline bucket tab, and we'll go here and bucket, which will be S3 bucket dot code, okay, dot bucket dot ID. Where's that ID there? Oh wait. Dot ID. All right, so we got that. And now we need block ACLs equals true. Just true, not all true, just true. Bucket. Bucket or block public policy equals true. And ignore true. And lastly, restrict public buckets true. All right, we got that. Let's see. Let's do data for our AWS policy document. And we're going to do assume role. And that's going to be statement effect allow. And that's so that it can assume the role to be able to deploy. This has to be inside of here. And identifier code pipeline dot Amazon AWS.com and type service. And then we do actions STS assume role. All right. And I wonder if this was used anywhere. So let's see. 1 of 4. Let's see. 1 is assume role. So I'm just looking over here to see where the assume role is being used. So then it's being used in AWS IAM role, test role. Test role. See, but this is like creating a new role. Let's look at our console. We already have this. Let me see. Assume role JSON. If we could have it assume the role of the data, IAM policy. Let's see. We could always have it do a new one. So up here it's using this row. Let's leave this out for now because we already have a row. We're using the existing row, so we might not have to do this part. But this would be like if we were creating a new row from what I'm seeing here. Which should already be configured for that particular role. So let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Let's see what we get. See what we get. So we have 8 to add. It's going to do a bucket for the code pipeline. Well, here goes nothing. And and if we don't finish this today, like if we don't get to the ACM part, we'll continue it to start the show next Sunday, and then we'll start looking into our options to where we can migrate to, right? But let's do a Terraform apply, right? So we get, Terraform apply, not Terraform apply. And it's going to do all this stuff for us here that we saw in the plan. Give it a yes. See what happens, right? We know that our Elastic Beanstalk is going to get set up and everything like that. The question is, all right, so it's doing our code pipeline first, which is good. Or no, it's actually doing everything simultaneously, it looks like. So let's keep an eye out for our code pipeline to see if we have something in here. Latest? We didn't do this 14 days ago, did we? Let's go to pipelines. Let's see. Oh, there goes our pipeline. But a failure on the most recent execution. Let's see let's take a look at what's going on in here, right? So pipelines source failed. All right, cool, good. This is what we wanted to see. Maybe we can comment out the Elastic Beanstalk because we know the Elastic Beanstalk is going to work. What happened here? Connection PPQ GitHub is unavailable. Let's find out why. So pipeline v1. So if we click edit here. Okay. Let's compare this to the other one. Duplicate. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Jesus. All right. So we're here, right? So our first one failed, right? Let's see. So it created the pipeline, right? But it failed on the very first step. So let's compare. Just throw that in here, go here, and let's compare these two. So we can fix whatever's wrong, right?
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Oh, why did I get signed off? All right, hold on. Let me sign back in. I'm gonna have to get my phone, aren't I? Darn it. All right, give me like 30 seconds to go get my phone because I need to get the MFA code. My phone is charging. So what we're gonna do, we're going to say I will be right back. I am back. This ever happened to you? Right? You have your phone plugged in, thinking that it's charging, and then you find out that the charger is not even plugged in. Right? It's not even plugged in. Here's what it is. So I have it plugged in right now. It's right next to me. I'm waiting for it to turn back on because it died, unfortunately. But so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna go to break while we are waiting. And what we're gonna do on this break, right? We are going to be looking at we're gonna see what we can find with Terraform in this job descriptions. We'll do this, right? We're gonna do because we can't log into AWS right now, right? So we'll do LinkedIn and Glassdoor while we wait. Let's close that out. And Terraform. And we will go to jobs. Go jobs here. All right. And I will open up Glassdoor as well. And we can see what we can find with Terraform as well, right? Because we're talking about Terraform. So let's usually it's going to be like some maybe infrastructure engineer or DevOps engineer. But let's see what we can find here. All right, cool. So let's put up our 5 minutes on the clock. And let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. So let's go to here. All right. So on Glassdoor, we have Cloud Configuration Management Specialist. Now we're not gonna I'm just gonna. So they're estimating between 80K and 100K. This is for G2IT, located at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. Desired skills: experience so it's experience supporting software migration efforts, experience in this. Let's see. Some of the core components include, but not limited to, EC2, Elastic Beanstalk. Oh, look what we just did. We've been working with the EC2 and Elastic Beanstalk these past few weeks. Containers, ECS, Fargate, EKS. We worked with ECS and Fargate. We haven't used the Kubernetes one yet. Networking, subnetting, route tables, security groups, virtual private networks, virtual private network peering, network access control, got the L and the S, right? Lists, I think, and then VPNs, which we've been working on. RDS, storage, S3, EBS, Elastic Beanstalk, and S3. WAP, not the one that they sing about, really. We have Active Directory, SSO, Federation, experience, knowledge of infrastructure as code, code-driven development, Agile, Scrum, all the stuff that we talk about, right? So, and then, but this one, it is you need to have an active DoD secret clearance. His job, and the pay is 80K to 100K. Is there a level of experience on this? I mean, pay seems kind of low, right? Oh, knowledge of tooling, automation, scripting, Jenkins, GitLab, Ansible, which we're going to get into after we are done with Terraform. I already have a course for that. So Sunday is going to be dedicated to DevOps type stuff, right? But Terraform, cloud formation templates, development, and maintain infrastructure as code base, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. So that is an opportunity in Illinois. They don't say how many years of experience, but I think the most important part is being the minimum active DoD secret clearance, and then they would work with you based on that. If you have that and you have some of these skills, I think they would work with you on that. All right. Let's see what Fuel Cell Energy says. They already have this messed up, so let's just skip right over that one, right? Because this is terrible. You need some QA to do this, right? Let's jump over to GitHub, right? So, infrastructure automation engineer. This is in Dallas, Texas, hybrid. G Research. Let's see. ideal candidate will have experience deploying infrastructure as code, which we're building right now, writing in Python and or Go, with CI/CD tooling such as Jenkins, GitLab, CircleCI, and TeamCity. I know this one. I know that one. Writing Ansible playbook or similar. We're going to be learning that very shortly. And guess what, right? And even though like I'm not thinking about any of these roles and stuff like that, the being able to do this on like actual sites, and you know what? I'm gonna when I talk to Calculus Coder again, I'm gonna have him look into this because if he sets up his application on like Terraform and stuff like that, it makes it so much easier to like move your stuff around, right? Uh, desired skills and knowledge, deploying services on Kubernetes, which is something we definitely need to get into. Writing HCL, Terraform code, creating modules, collections in Ansible, adding automated checks to CI/CD pipelines, Kafka. All right, cool. Let's see. Helping to shape and engineer correct tooling and automation. One thing I always like to see how much experience, which they don't even say that here, how much experience. So you might be able to get into this like, I don't know. This is like just an infrastructure automation engineer, right? Pretty cool. Let's see what we got with let's go back to it says like there's 3,144,000 jobs with all right, so mid-level DevOps, TS, CSI clearance. Let's see what we got. Technical task. So, and you have to pass a polygraph, willing to work in government customer sites in Northern Virginia. All right. Experience with automated deployment technologies as CloudFormation, Ansible,
Get a
Puppet,
move on. Back
Chef,
to work. Chop,
or
chop. Let's go.
Terraform.
Come on, get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
Let's see if the phone is back on. All right, starting on now. It's on its way on, so let's keep looking, right? So citizen, all right, so and here's the thing, what I think is because not many, all right, so it typically requires minimum of 3 to 7 years of related experience with a bachelor's degree or 1 to 5 years with a master's degree or a PhD without experience or equivalent work experience. I've seen something similar to this before, right? But like getting all of this is not that like getting all of this is not that easy, right? So I think that it's one of the reasons that the pay is so high. And then 15% of 401k, right? For millennial software. So it's like if you were to do the work, like, and you gather all these skills and you have security clearances and stuff like that, and that's what I call like properly planning the positions that you're going after, right? You know, and you know, this, and that's why it's. I don't know if they're going to be requiring because they didn't mention like having a bachelor's or master's or PhD in like computer science, but maybe I don't know. So this is definitely possible. And then for 120k to 175k in Virginia is pretty good, right? But getting those requirements, getting that security clearance, it's I mean, if you can get it, you got it, right? Security Plus or comparable certification for privileged user access, and property planning and structuring what you're working on, right? Prior experience using HashiCorp tools such as Packer, Terraform, Vault, Consult, and Nomad. It's a good opportunity. Definitely a good opportunity, right? Definitely a good opportunity, right? So while this phone is powering on, should be on by now. All right. That's good. So it's on. Let me navigate to Authenticator. Okay, cool. But while that's doing that, let's take a quick look at one more in Terraform. Quality engineer, cloud platforms product engineering in Chandler, Arizona. So at Bank of America, we are, let me zoom in a little bit. Did that earlier. So at Bank of America, we are guided by common purposes to help make financial lives better through the power of every connection. All right, cool. All right, so this is a multi-dimensional QA engineering role that includes cloud test automation in a hybrid cloud environment. The ideal candidate will be responsible for hands-on experience implementing test automation solutions in an agile DevOps environment. This sounds like a super cool role already, right? Don't threaten me with a good time, right? Responsible for architecting automation solutions for QA services, along with providing support for implementation, experience testing infrastructure and using Terraform service tools. All right, support hybrid cloud QA functions. Create optimized test process, including defect management and reporting. Let me see, anything that stands out requires us 5 to 7 years of relative experience with hybrid cloud engineering environment. The thing with this 5 to 7 years, this hasn't even like really been on the forefront that long, right? So AWS has been out for a while, right? And then came Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure and stuff like that. But to find someone with 5 to 7 years of experience in this type of stuff, it's gonna be kind of hard, especially like focused like in QA, right? Like I mean, I've been using it for like almost 10 years now, like AWS and stuff like that, but might be a stretch. Environment in Python, expert in Python and PowerShell scripting, application testing with automation, Selenium, hands-on Terraform, infrastructure as a service, policy as code experience, desired skills, team player. All right, cool. Okay. Anyways, let's get back into work. All right. Let's go back to school. All right, we're going to do our last 20 minutes of the show. Why is Elastic Beanstalk still creating? Oh, it actually finished. So, all right, cool. Let's do this. Let me log in, and then we shall proceed. Okay, logging in, MFA code. All right, we are back in business. Let me put up our last 20 minutes on the clock.
It's time to do.
All right, so you can see from our buckets, our PPQ bucket was just created, just like we wanted. All right, so that's good. Cool. But we had some issues connecting to, let's see here. We had issues around here. So, let's see. Full repository ID. I wonder if we can get a detailed view. Connection not available. That's just that. So if we click on edit, right, we would want this to be v2, and we would want the source to be, so when we edit it, everything comes into play, right? So let's go back to our code. Yeah, so we'll probably like either push the rest of this to next week if we don't finish in 20 minutes. Definitely looks like ACM is going to be a next week thing. But let's go up here to provider type GitHub. We're going to go to build. Let's try version 2 for the source configuration, code star connection. Let's close this out. Tech coach Ralph, branch name main, version 2. All right, so we're going to comment. So first of all, we're going to do Terraform destroy to get rid of everything. And all these are going to get, well, if we just make, actually, no, let's do something. Let me see if I do Terraform apply, let's see what happens. So this is going to do, change this to version 2. All right, so let's just do that, right? Let's see if we just do, because nothing else is going to change. So we should just make a change to the AWS code pipeline, and then we can just do applies on that to see if those change, right? So source is not available in US East 1. Let's make this bigger. Modifying code pipeline, updating code pipeline, invalid action, declaration exception, action type, category source provider, AWS version 2, and action source is not available in US East 1. Okay. All right, so if we go in configuration, oops, all right, so maybe the AWS version is 1 for this. I'm looking at it over here, right? New GitHub version 2 app-based action to add GitHub source. There are all the sources. So let's say we do GitHub version 2 AWS code pipeline. AWS code pipeline. AWS code pipeline. AWS code pipeline, Terraform. What do we get here? So this is proposed. And apparently it's closed. Let's see what the close is. Added GitHub version 2 authentication to code pipeline. See what that is. How does that work though? That's what we need. Like to see the test being ran. Yeah, cool. Code. One. Let's read that. Right, so this has been released here. Let's see here. GitHub. Okay. We're not going to circle. Oh, right back to where we were. Okay. So we know that it's there. Let's see if we can find how to do it. Same issue. Okay, let's go here. Where are we? We are here. So let's look for AWS GitHub. Or let's see, GitHub code. Let's see. Nope, not this page. This is. No, that's the same thing. Oh, wait a second. Is this unreleased? Really? Oh, wait a second. Might not even be released yet. Oh, hold on. No, this is different. This is different. This is not the AWS. All right, it's not what we were looking at earlier. Let me see. That's the one that you need to pay for. All right, let's keep going. All right. Let's see. AWS CodePipeline, Terraform, samples. Let's see. Templates. Nope. Modules. Examples, maybe. Modules. Code pipeline. Let's see here. I want a Terraform module. I just want the code to do it. Okay, let's try Stack Overflow. I like Stack Overflow. GitHub is the provider. I mean, this is where we were before. CodeStar connection. Because the issue that we're having is it is not setting up the source properly. We have GitHub 1 not setting up properly, so we need to repository name. All right, so let's go back to the code. Let's see if when we go to configuration, let's go to CodeStar. Oops. Let's go to this over here. And so let's see what we have in here. Provider. So let's search for this, right? Let's search for this in GitHub or in Terraform. Look at this, right? So this one is using Bitbucket. Let me see, resource. Oh, you see that? Do you see that right here? The AWS CodeStar connection resource is created in a state pending. Authentication with the connection provider must be completed in the AWS console. Okay, so I mean, there's something that you're just gonna have to do in there. So that's why we were seeing when we go over here. So let's say we close this out, right? And we go to source, then it automatically. So let me just refresh this page, right? Let's refresh this page, see what happens. So we go to source and there's nothing in here. But we have all of this stuff we have here, which is correct. But we click on edit stage for the source. All of that is there. And we say, click on this and everything pops right in, right? Everything that okay. So we have to do so your connection status is pending. So there's some things that you're always gonna you're gonna have to do it inside the console regardless, right? But it gets us 90% of the way there, right? So let's say update pending connection. It's going to do that. PPQ GitHub connection. And we're gonna say this connect. And there we go. We are good to go. All right, so let's click on done. Right, and now let's do so now if we go back to here, did we change this back to 1? I believe we did. Let me see. Yes, we did. Let's see here. All right, so let's change that back to 1. And let's do our Terraform apply again. Let's see what we get. Let's see. Apply completed. Nothing changed. Nothing changed, right? We have our Beanstalk URL. So if we go here and we go into our browser, we should have in our browser, we have that, right? So now the next thing is, which we might not have time to do it, but how do we connect the code pipeline to the Elastic Beanstalk, which we might have to do. We go up here. Let's see. Elastic Beanstalk URL. Let's see. So, let's look for Terraform Elastic Beanstalk. Deploy. Let's see. Look at this one. This should be in the environment one. So, okay, we're in the environment. All right. Let's see. Solution stack name. Da, da, da. Let's see. Got that. Let's see. Wait for ready. So are you deploying to the environment or to the application? Let's see. Let's see. Beanstalk configuration template. Let's see. Where do you let me see. We have all of that. We just need to okay, so actually in the deploy. Okay, so it's gonna be in the deploy because it's not an Elastic Beanstalk, right? It's gonna be in the deploy. So when we go to here and we go to deploy, let's look at, we would say deploy to let's look at the one that we did before, right? Let's see if I can switch over here. And we go to reload that. Let's look at the one that works for us, this one. And let's look at deploy, right? So deploy Elastic Beanstalk. Let's go to view.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Let me see. Edit. Let's look at our deploy. Deploy. So deploy action provider, Elastic Beanstalk. All right. So let's go here. So let's look at deploy real quick on here. Let's see if we have a deploy. Oh, okay. So we have CloudFormation here, but our provider would be, so let me see if I click on this. Okay, so all right. So that means that we need the provider to be Elastic Beanstalk, but we don't know the exact name of it. So let's say we do Terraform Code Pipeline Deploy Provider. So I am looking over here, looking for the deploy provider. So this is an example, but we would want to know Name of the pipeline. So there is, all right, so let's look at these right here, right? So this pipeline type is going to be V2. Oops. Let's go to it should be, all right, let's say. Okay. I just added the pipeline type up there. So let's see. Artifact store. Location. Okay. So that is in artifact store and then stage. All right. So let's look for stage in here. Where's stage? All right, so it's an action actually. So stage and then action. All right, so category, name, provider. Provider is CodeStar connection source. And configuration. All right, configuration is a map. And a map of action declarations, configuration options for actions, and providers can be found in pipeline structure. Okay, so this is what we're kind of looking for. Configuration. We need it for deploy actually, right? So inside of deploy, we are going to look for the provider for deploy. So action structure reference. We need it for the provider for the deploy. Valid providers are determined by the action category. Provider names. All right, there we go. Provider names. Okay, so do we have an elastic beanstalk in here? Cloud formation, code build, code star. All action type fields. Okay. Code pipeline structure reference. So there. All right. So there's test deploy. Okay. Which we'll add test at some point. All right. Providers. Source S3 ECR. Code commit. This one. Build. Test. Deploy. There we go. Elastic beanstalk. Oops. We still have our thing on, so let's turn that off. Okay. So elastic beanstalk. So now we want number of inputs and outputs. All right, so number of valid inputs, deploy. What's the name of it? Let's see. Let's go with search for beanstalk. Oops. I just search for beanstalk. All right, there we go. Provider name in action. All right. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So that's the one that we're going to want to take. So I'm just going to put it in here, right? So I had CloudFormation. That was a mistake. Elastic Beanstalk. And then configuration properties, application name, and environment name. So, where would you set that up now? Would that be in configuration properties, right? So let's get rid of these because we're not using that. It's going to be application application name, which we're going to do AWS Elastic Beanstalk application dot name, and then environment name equals AWS Elastic Beanstalk environment dot name. All right. So now I think we should say Terraform apply. Gonna make some changes to what we have. Name is not expected here. Okay, well, we'll remove it. It's not a big deal. I was just trying to see on the documentation, see what would happen, but cool. So you don't need that. And Terraform apply. And what's going to happen? It is going to say one change. It's going to change the deploy from CloudFormation to Elastic Beanstalk with the right application and environment name. So yes. All right, let's go back and look at this before we wrap it up for today. All right. So it did the change. Let's refresh this page real quick. It says Elastic Beanstalk now. And if we look at this, edit, it has our thing in there, right? All right. So now we click on here. Failed 46 minutes ago. Didn't run. Can we? Oh, so what I was looking at this right here, right? So it made the change to Elastic Beanstalk. If we do edit here, right? It has everything in there, right? Is this right? AWS code build? Let me see. Let's check our other one out. What's this? So do we have a build stage? Let me see. This is the one that's working, right? That is our working one. We have a source and a deploy. We don't have a build stage. Where did this build stage come from? Do I have? Okay, so following along, not paying attention. We should have been comparing the two, right? So let's go here. Let's remove this build stage. Let's remove this build stage. That's out. And so input artifact. So let me look at the one that's working over here. Let's see, what was the input artifact that we had? Let me take the timer off too. I don't need that anymore. Let's see here. Have that. Edit stage. Deploy variables. So it's just the source artifact defined by the source. So in here, we are just going to have what's the output. Source output is what's going to be here for here, right? That's taken care of. So now let's see if we can do Terraform code pipeline build on change. I don't know. Right. AWS CodePipeline repo change location Terraform. Pull source for change files, branch name master. It's not necessarily the one I want to use. I want the Terraform to change. You can solve by local exec provisioners. Terraform will stop the execution immediately after pipeline creation. The user, I'm just reading some Stack Overflow right here. Detection attributes can be utilized within the code pipeline resource block. It has been effective. Ensure the provider either a true or false. You can. As part of my requirements, I'm trying to create AWS code pipeline for Terraform and trigger the code pipeline manually once created, but unfortunately, the code pipeline is getting triggered automatically. Detect changes. The code pipeline. I'm going to say in here, where are we? Code pipeline. I don't know. All right, whatever. Let's see. Terraform apply. Right. And let's go yes. So now we're gonna swoop back over to here. And we're gonna go to here. Change is done. Let's see. So this should be where is the one that we're looking at? I lost it. But this should be removed, right? This one should be removed. That was because there are two sources. Or the build should be removed. And let's see what happens. So let's go here. And we have that. This good. Make sure this is good in here. Why is this not showing up? Your GitHub is ready to use. All right, so let's do that again. All right. The thing is, we save. Saving your changes cannot be undone. All right, save. And pipeline was saved successfully. The only thing is, I wish. Is it being executed? Let me see. No, it's not being executed. I don't know why this is V2. Let me see. Edit. Pipeline. Why isn't the pipeline V2? Pipeline type. So let me see. Let's go here. I don't want the pipeline type to be V2. Artifact store. Pipeline type. Pipeline type. Optional. Possible values are V1 and V2. Let me see. Click on that. When I click on it, it didn't accept it when I put pipeline type in there. It's optional here, but it's not picking up in the Terraform. Pipeline type is not expected here. So where is it expected? Hmm. Well, we'll not worry about that right now. Let's remove that. And let's just try to trigger this, right? Let's see what happens. Let's go to here. And let's say we were to cancel discard. And let's say we just retry stage, right? Retry failed actions. No. Let's say stop execution. Stop and abandon. Stop. Let's say we stop. Oh wait. Choose the pipeline execution you want to stop. There isn't. What? Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Release changes. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Source regions can only use. You see that? So source regions can only be used with V2 pipelines, but it's not allowing me to. All right. So you know what? That's enough. That is enough. I'll find exactly where that pipeline type goes in, because it doesn't. I don't see it in there. Let's see. One last quick check. Let's see. This pipeline type should auto-populate somewhere. Nope, not there. Nope. Let me see. Type. Yeah, it's not there. So we'll figure it out, right? But we are close, right? So let's recap real quick, right? We were able to get the code pipeline created. We got it mostly configured. We just have to figure out that code pipeline, try to redeploy, and everything like that. I am going to go ahead and do a Terraform destroy to get rid of everything so it's not up and running up my bill. So Terraform destroy, give it a go. And it is tearing everything down. And we're going to say yes to get rid of everything. And our wallet should be safe and secure. So it's going to be doing that. And let's get back over here. So that is our show for today. Went a little bit longer than I expected, but when we get to work, we get to work. Like we say, we don't stop when we are tired or when the timer runs out. We stop when we're done. And I think we're at a good stopping spot today, right? We accomplished a lot. We migrated what we did manually from the code pipeline to Terraform. We just need a little bit of configuration stuff we need to figure out, and then we are going to work on the ACM next week, and we're going to look at other services that we can get a better price on this, right? So my bill is going to keep going up a little bit more this week, but it is what it is. Like I said, we don't like to tightly couple to a particular application because we want to be able to move from AWS to Azure to Google Cloud Platform to whoever else, right? To whoever else. So that's one of the good things about having infrastructure as code. You can create your infrastructure, put it somewhere else. We read the documentation like we did today. Bunch of stuff to do, but it's all worth it in the end, all right? So that being said, let me know what you thought, right? Let me know if you enjoyed the video. The question I always have to ask for you, right? The question is,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I am very, very entertained. Hopefully you liked the discussions that we had about, continuing to add value in everything that you do to all of your clients. Like, remember, you have clients. Everyone is your client. Your job is your client. Your family is your client. Your spouse is your client. Everyone is your client. It is a business, right? And in business, you have to provide the most value to your clients and your customers. So remember that. Are you adding value? Are you adding the right amount of value? And if everyone was to see it that way, we would see how much more productive we would be and how much more helpful we would be in everyone else's life, all right? So with that being said, I am getting ready to take off. if you have not done so yet and you enjoyed the show, or maybe you didn't enjoy the show, whatever, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time we go live, like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, put it on all your social media, and check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can see all the exclusive content that I have for my Patreon members, as well as you can sign up for one-on-one coaching. You can get a free consultation with me for 30 minutes and we can talk about it, see if you're a good candidate, what you're into. We can go from there, right? Because sometimes you might not be the best, like a good candidate for me, but I can steer you to the direction of somebody who would be able to help you, all right? Will their prices be as good as mine? I don't know, right? But we'll find out. So check it out, and we are heading out. So thank you for tuning in. I had a wonderful time hanging out with you. Hopefully you did as well. But on that note, we are going to wrap it up. So this is Tech Coach Ralph with another episode of Software Explorations, trying out Terraform, getting more and more done, all right? And we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.